it's Megan. Welcome back to the channel. Glad to have you here today. This evening, we are canning some sausage, and I'm going to teach y'all how to do that. This saves freezer space, and if you want the best sausage gravy you've ever eaten, then you need to can you some sausage. It is easy to do. And also, if you're new to the channel, my husband and I live on about 18 acres in the foothills of North Carolina. We grow about 80% of our own food, including our own meat, and we will be processing our hogs from now until Christmas. So we just did that Saturday. Unfortunately, I won't be showing that on video. We always kind of a community effort, kind of like the old times. A lot of us and neighbors get together. A lot of old timers there that are a little camera shy, so I won't be bringing the camera down to show you that, but I can show you what I do with the fresh pork after the fact. So that's what I have here. Fresh ground pork sausage that we made. We do it in 5-pound bags, and I only can sausage about every other year. I usually try to can enough that'll last me for 2 years, and then I won't have to can any next year. And I can't remember if because I'm going to be doing pints, if they will hold 1 5-pound bag or 2. So I've got 2 in here right now. So I'll can about half of what I'm going to keep, and then I'll vacuum seal and freeze the other half. I won't freeze them in these bags. That's just kind of how we measure it out. So we'll go ahead and get started here. This is going to be a cold raw pack method. Some people like to cook theirs first. This right here works just fine for me. And it's the way I've been taught to do it, what I'm going to show y'all today. So, of course, cold sausage going into cold jars, going into a cold canner. Always remember that, and you hopefully won't have busted jars. So what you're going to want to do, because this is a ground thick meat, so the heat can penetrate everything like it should, and everything will get as hot as it should, you roll it into balls, like little meatballs. And then you'll drop it down into your jar. I don't add any salt to my canned sausage whatsoever. The seasoning is already in here, but I don't add anything to it, just the sausage. My canner holds 9 pints, so we'll be filling up 9 tonight. So look over my attire. This is just real life. I'm still a working registered nurse. I ain't been long, got off work, come home and fix some supper, and want to go ahead and get this done. Tomorrow, y'all can be looking forward to that video in the next few days. I'm going to be making some souse meat tomorrow, so if you hadn't never heard of that, you'll want to check that out.
Yep.
You can come help me.
Waiting for you to finish.
So this sausage is going to cook way down, so I'm going to get these jars pretty full, because sausage, homemade sausage, has a lot of grease in it. I found out, we did a little experiment last winter. We decided we wanted to see what the store-bought stuff was all about, because, you know, we're sheltered children and this is all we know. So we went and bought a couple of different varieties of the store-bought sausage, and y'all ain't never had to put grease in a pan that I was cooking sausage in, but that stuff I did. But this is going to cook down quite a bit, and you'll have a layer of grease on top. So not only will it be protected with your sealed lid and the pressure can, that grease actually also helps preserve that meat too. Back in the old days, that's how they done it. They didn't have pressure canners. They would cook the sausage, put it in the jar, take the hot grease, pour it over it, turn the jar upside down, and the grease is what would seal that in there to make the meat keep. So it's just a fun fact for you. If you've never tried fresh sausage, check out, talk to neighbors, talk to people around your community. You never know who you might run into that makes sausage. They may let you try some. Then out of 1 pig, how much sausage did we say we had?
We didn't keep a ham.
We kept
We did keep a little bit of a shoulder out for the barbecue.
It was 25 5-pound bags.
That sounds right. Yeah, we had 25 5-pound bags. Yeah, I think
So that's
right.
how much sausage we got out of 1 pig, and it was actually
This pig
probably our smallest, wasn't
It
it?
was probably one of our smallest. It might have weighed almost 400 pounds, maybe. I don't know. It probably went 400.
So I'm gonna tell you, I mean, one pig, especially if you're putting up your own chicken and your own beef too, 1 to 2 pigs would feed a family of 4, wouldn't you say? If you're putting up other meat, not just, that's not the only thing you're eating.
Yeah, you'd end up with a whole lot of sausage for sure, but then you would only have 4 tenderloins. And so it depends.
Depends on what part you like to eat.
Yeah, you would have a whole lot of sausage out of one pig. You'll get more than enough sausage for one family to eat. But
and that's another reason I like to can it, because you know we have an excess of sausage. This right here, number 1, it's not taking up freezer space. Number 2, I have eaten canned sausage that I canned. I think the oldest I ate that we ate this year was from 2019.
well,
Or 18. It was 2019 or 2018, something like that. And we're still here to tell about it, and we didn't get sick. So,
well, unless you do it like the old timers used to, they only made sausage out of the scrap meat, and they would either salt down their hams and their shoulders. And of course, you're not going to put a tenderloin or the sweet meat into a sausage, so you keep that. But if you salt down your hams and your shoulders, so that would lose a lot of your lean meat, and so you really wouldn't have much sausage at all out of one pig if you've done it that way. And actually, the best sausage comes from just scrap meat. And when I say scrap meat, I'm talking about all the trimmings and everything that you might have.
We do our fat back and stuff, and
You
the
could have
trimmings
all that
off
trimming
that.
off of that. The only thing about not doing a ham and shoulders and everything in your sausage, you wind up with a whole lot of excess fat, like a lot.
More than what this has.
A lot of excess fat that you won't be doing nothing with. So that's one reason we like to put.
But they can make lard with it.
Well, you can make lard with it, but
If you keep it separate.
But we just like to put some hams and shoulders in there too, because you get to use all of that extra fat that you have.
Because, I mean, if you do have a lot of fat in it, and we have years past maybe put a little too much fat in it, and the sausage is almost white. You know, it's a very light color. Which this year we got a good, I mean, this is perfect. What this looks like right here. Let me see if I can show them some. That's what homegrown sausage looks like.
Now this has been in the refrigerator, so it's actually whiter than what it was when we ground it. But actually, when it was ground, it was
pink.
It was a little on the red side. But once it gets in the refrigerator and cools off, that fat really turns white in it, so you see the fat a whole lot more.
So off of a pig. So say you've got a pig on your homestead. While we're talking about pigs, you could do a shoulder for barbecue. You could make you a country ham. You could put a ham and a shoulder in sausage to have more sausage. You could do fat back and bacon. Can't you do both?
Yeah, you can.
You do fat back and bacon. You have your tenderloins. You got 2 big tenderloins, 2 sweet rolls. If you don't know what a sweet roll is on a pig, it's the filet mignon of a cow, but it's the pig form. It is delicious. You've got your ribs. You got several ribs that you'll get out of it. Now, I'll also be canning ribs from our pigs, probably do next weekend. You have a backbone. That's something a lot of people don't think of. You have a backbone you can keep.
And the meat on the backbone is technically nothing but tenderloin.
It's delicious. I love backbone. Andy's like give or take, but I like it.
It's good. It's just
you gotta work for.
Yeah.
You gotta work for it when you eat it.
And when we say tenderloin, y'all,
a boneless
pork chop. We call it tenderloin. To us, a pork chop has a bone in it. Tenderloin does not have a bone in it.
Now, if they wanted pork chops, could they do one side tenderloin and one side pork chop? Or
You can, but to do a true bone-in pork chop, you have to split the backbone down the middle. At least that's what we do. And so if we end up doing one pig and a pork chop, we do both sides because it's
easier.
It makes more sense because you had to go through the work of splitting that backbone.
So you also have pig feet. Some people like the pig feet. You can pickle pig's feet. I'm actually going to put the pig's feet in my souse meat. Then you have the head, which is what souse meat's made out of. You can literally eat everything on a pig, but what do they say? But the squeal.
You can eat everything but the squeal.
So
I ain't about to eat nothing comes out of the inside that pig.
yeah, we don't now. As far as the innards and stuff go, we don't really we don't partake in any of that. We ain't got that hungry yet. So
we have some folks who come by, and on occasion they'll get them and take them, but yeah, I'm not doing that.
it was good chicken feed.
Yeah, our chickens eat them this time.
So is that everything that you can get off one? I was trying to think.
I don't know. There's a whole lot of fancy cuts that I don't know nothing
Well, we don't
about.
do the fancy cuts. Like, we don't.
You can quarter up like hams to get the bone out and chunk that meat up and can it, and it would be about like canned tenderloin or something. You can do a shoulder the same way. There's lots of ways you can do a pig. Honestly, it's hard to mess up a pig.
And to us, I mean, I don't know, you probably heard us say this on the channel before if you've watched any of the previous videos, but on our farm here anyway, the pig is probably the easiest thing that we have. Even next to the chickens, the pigs are easier to deal with than the chickens.
And you get so much out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And talking about cleaned up land, people think goats clean up land. Let me just tell you. You want a spot of land cleaned up, you put some pigs on it.
And not only that, I am dropping this all in the floor.
Stand up here.
Not only that, you can feed a pig anything. So it's like your garbage disposal. If you've got, I don't care what it is. The only thing you can't, well, I guess you could technically feed it to it, but the only thing that you probably don't want to feed a pig is another pig.
Yeah, we don't do that.
I'm not going to do that, but I guess they probably would. I mean, if a pig fell over dead in the wild, most likely the pigs are going to eat it, but I still wouldn't want to do that.
We ain't going to purposely do that.
There ain't many things that I've thrown into a pig that didn't like. All right, my
Your
God.
hands must be
I don't know, they're sticking to it like crazy. Yours don't stick like that?
No, look.
Why? What's wrong with
That's what I
mine?
said. Your hands must be Alright, guys. So, what it's looking like is 5 pounds is going to fill up my canner. We may have to get a little bit out of that other one. But so, that's something you can keep in mind. About 5 pounds of sausage will be a canner full of pints. The reason I do it in pints, that's just about the amount that I use. Like I said, it makes killer sausage gravy. It's the perfect amount for sausage gravy in the pints. Also, I like to put sausage in like my spaghetti, or if I'm making meatballs or something like that. And instead of throwing out my frozen sausage, which I keep for my patties, I'll use a can of sausage. It's already cooked. You know, just got to open it up and put it in there. Now, you will notice when I get this out of the canner, it is going to have, like I told you a while ago, that tall grease layer on it. And once that cools, once I open it, I actually scrape a lot of that grease off before I get the sausage out to keep it from being quite so greasy. A very important step whenever you're canning anything, especially something greasy, is to go around with white vinegar and wipe off your rings, because if that grease gets in between your lid and that glass, it may lose its seal. So vinegar seems to do the trick. Alright, I'm going to get my heat cut on. I'm going to get the lid on here. Now, where everything's cold, it's going to take it a little while to build up the pressure. So we'll let it vent for 10 minutes before I add the weight on there. And then we'll cook it under 10 pounds of pressure for 75 minutes. And then I'll show you all the finished product. Alright, my sausage got done just in time for bed, so I'm going to go ahead and get this out. A lot of them have already sealed. You can kind of see what that looks like there. You can see how much that sausage cooked down, and this grease that you see here is going to also help preserve it, help it keep. So this is an excellent item to have in your pantry, in my opinion. Just like I keep saying, because it's shelf stable, that's a big deal. That's shelf stable meat right there that's not going to take any electricity after this point. It's already cooked. Nothing to worry about. You don't have to worry about your freezer going out and losing all of your sausage. Simple, easy, a little bit of a lengthy process once you get it in the canner, but it's not hands-on, you know, at that point. So anyways, hope you enjoyed this video tonight, and I look forward to sharing more of my pork preservation techniques as we go on in the next month or so. So be on the lookout for those. Make sure you got the little bell rung so you don't miss any of them, because I do things a lot of different ways to preserve our pork. So anyways, I'll see you on the next one.